Hi, I'm Shaken Gaming, and welcome to my tier list for Dragon Champions. There are links in the description for infographics, the tier list, my Discord, and also my promo code if you need that and are new in this game. But you can look at that afterwards. This is my first tier list for Dragon Champions. I've made a lot of different content, but why haven't I made a tier list until now? There are several reasons to this. The first one being that I have tried to only make content that are based on numbers, facts, so it can't be argued whether it's right or wrong. It's just there, presenting the facts, and then let people decide for themselves which hero is best for which situation. But there's a huge demand for a tier list. A lot of players are asking for it, so I decided to try my luck. I'm still going to try and base it as much as possible on stats and numbers, and as little as possible on opinions, just to make it the most correct I can, possibly. But being a tier list, it's inevitable to have opinions in it, and whenever opinions are put into a tier list, it can't be completely right, 100% right. So there are people that are going to look at the tier list and say, hey, that character you ranked as a B character, it's only an F character. This character is really good. I absolutely love Snorri, he's the best character in the game. Why didn't you place him as an A character? All these kinds of questions. That was the background for it. So initially I tried to calculate as much as possible, and then afterwards I make a few adjustments to opinions to the characters I think are placed wrong based on the way I've made the tier list. Basically, I've taken speed and ranked every character according to speed from A to F, giving them different points. Then I've taken estimated health pool. That's a calculated number based on the health, the shield, and the mitigations of each character, where of course the tanks in general are those that have the highest EHP. But that's the second stat. The third one is damage, based on raw damage, but also penetration and crit. Then there's what I've called utility. That's potency and tenacity combined. And then last, there's something completely based on opinions, and that's the abilities. I've ranked these as well, given them points to make a formula, which I could calculate the strength of each character. So the formula is speed plus expected health pool plus damage plus half the utility, potency, and tenacity plus 2 times the abilities. The formula is on the screen, and I will explain a bit about it later in the video, but for now this is the formula I used. So what result did I get by combining all of this? So this is the bottom level of the tier list, tier F. I forgot to mention one thing, by the way. Leadership abilities are not used in the calculation. The reason for this is that some characters are used both in the leader slot and in the member slot. So it's not always that each character, the leaders are used as leaders. So I had to make this without leadership abilities. It's basically each character on their own. But at the bottom, with only using my formula, I have Rantha, Shaolin, Kinli, Dieselrock, Hilda, Kagi, Alira, Darien, Atom, and Mega Wheel. Several of these are not a surprise, but there are more tanks in the bottom of the guide due to the speed rank, where ideally, perhaps in a later version, I could consider reversing the rank for the tanks, because most tanks you want slower, but it's a debate also, so it's a bit troublesome to combine everything in one tier list, but I tried. Those that really are tier F, or the lowest of them, is, some will say, why is Rantha down here? Because she's got an awesome leader ability. But her leader ability is really the only thing that shines about Rantha. She's got horrible stats. Her kit does absolutely nothing. She does no damage. She dies very, very easily. Shaolin, he's a damage dealer, but he doesn't do any damage. Kinli might be a bit low, but that's due to the speed rank. He is a fairly slow character, but his skill set isn't that great. He's a great tank combined with the other pandas, but as a standalone character, he's not. Dieselrock, he was supposed to be some hybrid character for goblins and orcs, but no hybrid team has really shined or been possible to make that didn't completely suck, so he's down here. Hilda, she's just a weird tank that doesn't do any tanking really. Kagi, he's a good character combined with Boreas or on a Pride team, but a lot of characters would never be E or F when on the right team with the right synergies. But Kagi, he's got horrible stats, and his kit isn't great either. The main thing about him is the synergies with Boreas. Alira, oh well, she's just bad in general. Same goes for Darien. Atom and Mega Wheel, two more tanks. Atom is actually decent now in a pure goblin team, but you need a pure goblin team and you need Instructor Gorham, because otherwise you can never get him to taunt. And Mega Wheel, he used to be the most tanky character in the game, meaning the highest estimated health pool. That place is now curious, but apart from a very high estimated health pool, Mega Wheel's abilities are useless. If we move to the next rank, on the next rank we find Eric, Mortha, Snorri, Kelrian, Sinjil, Sharp, and Patriarch Kree. Why these? Eric is actually good in some scenarios, but in general he just fails to really deliver. He's got his immunity to everything buff, which is unique for him, and perhaps he should be higher. But with the calculations, he's only an E character. Mortha, just as Rantha, is useless in most situations. She does no healing, she does no damage, and she's very, very squishy. Why is she E? I don't know. I suppose the stats are just slightly better than Rantha's. Snorri, that's the first surprise in my opinion, but we can take a look. If we look at Snorri's stats, that's over here, his estimated health pool, E rating, low. His damage, D, that's not the ability but the base damage, crit, penetration, D. His utility, C. His speed, E. Total, very low. So that's most of the reason, because his skills aren't that bad. He's got a B skill and a B skill. His AoE and his speed up and crit. His fourth ability is useless, and his first ability doesn't do much. But that's the reason behind it. Could be a surprise as well why Kilran is higher than the tanks below. But that's stats-wise again, combined with a decent skill set with the other elves. Sengil, apparently a bit better than Illyria, but not by much. Sharp, some will argue Sharp is a good character. I don't think so. I think his kit doesn't do much, his abilities, and his stats aren't great either. Looking at Sharp's abilities, he's got a C rating across the board. So middle of the pack. But his stats are low again. He's got a B rating in damage, but he dies very quickly. And he's extremely slow for a damage dealer, so that really hinders him as being useful. Last, Patriarch Kree. He's actually a good character in some situations and with a full panda team. But again, very low speed. He's got an E rating. He's got low potency and tenacity combined. He's doing absolutely no damage, but he is fairly tanky. So his skill set is a bit above average actually. So he's probably just on the limit to being the next tier rating. Moving up to tier D, we have Master Duo, Major Shot, Mar, Little Baddie, Foul, Corcoran, Hera, Salvador, and Robin Bad. I don't think there's a lot to argue on these. These are characters that either have decent abilities or decent stats, but nothing really shines about them. They're not the worst, they're not the best. There's not a lot to say really. Shot are having a better ability set than most of the others here, but his stats are horrible. He's so easy to kill, and he doesn't do a lot of damage, but his abilities are amazing. Mar has got some good abilities as well, but his stats are also very bad. Little Baddie is good for some content, for example the raid, just as Master Duo and Robin. But overall, she's not placed higher than a D. Foul has a decent, good abilities, but her stats are really poor, so she doesn't end out doing a lot with the good abilities. Corcoran, another horrible orc character, but not completely garbage. Hera, she's got a lackluster ability set and mediocre stats. Salvador, well, let's check out Salvador. Salvador's stats are decent for a tank, especially with his skill set. He's got a very, very low speed. He's got very high estimated health pool. No damage, but that doesn't matter, and his utility is okay. But his abilities are, well, he's got a first ability that does no damage whatsoever. His second ability is not great at either. His second ability is the taunt, but only the taunt, because he does no damage, so the health back he gets as well is useless. Then he's got his steel skin ability. That's a very good ability. And his passive isn't great either. It's middle of the pack. So again, that's why he ends here. Robin Bad, he's a bit bad, but he's also a bit good. But the calculations made him end here. And he is very useful in the raid, but I'll get back to that later. Moving up a tier, tier C. Got a bit crowded. A lot of players here. No, characters. We've got One Glula, Shader, Puncherface, Lake, Selena, Sergeant, Pigwald, Santara, Venomate, Voran, Failure, Yogi, and Rin the Unseen. Who sticks out? Wonderlula is a good character, but she's not at the top, as you can see. Shadar. I can hear the screaming out there right now while you're seeing this. He's an A character. He's one of the best arena characters at all currently. He's meta. Sure, Shadar is all that, but not according to this formula. And that's the one part. The second part is this is not an arena meta team guide. It's an individual tier list for each character in the game. And Shadar's stats and abilities only give him a C. Because, okay, he's got very good abilities, but he's got very bad stats. So that's why he ends on a C. Puncherface, he's decent all the way through. He's not the best demon, but he's definitely not the worst either. Lake falls in the same category as Puncherface. Selena, she's a very good healer if you don't have Solius, but that was the point, giving people a decent healer if they didn't have Solius already, and she is a C character, so that's decent. Pigwald, I was surprised he ended up here, but it's a combination of skills and abilities and stats again. Santara, she's a good character, solid all the way through. Venomate, he's got a very good ability set, but his stats are not great. Some may argue he should be lower. I think he's fine at the C rating. He does a lot of damage. And pair him with Kyra, I think he moves up a tier. The biggest surprise by far on this list, for me at least, that's the Lizard here. I have no idea why he's ending up here, but if we look at his stats, he's got a flat C rating by me in all of his abilities. He's got a very low health pool, but very fast speed and decent damage. So overall, I think he's been very lucky to end exactly up there. But Voran is one of the characters that I am going to place more opinion on later. So I'll get back to this Lizard. Failure is a decent all-around character actually. She does fairly good damage, and under Talan lead, she will move up a tier at least as well. Yogi, horrible stats, amazing abilities. So that's why he's here. Rin, you could argue she should be lower. The calculation says she's a C rating, but generally I don't think she's that good. But I don't think I'm going to move her now. I think I'll let the calculation speak here. And now for B, where it starts to get really interesting. Sarah, Hardog, Mordoom, Freezard, Dr. Frank, Nightial, Kira, Trumgar, Inspector Gorham, and Amara. I'm sure a lot thinks that this is bullshit. I even made a video called Kira Best Tank in the Game. Trumgar is the other best tank in the game. Mordoom is on every PvP content at the moment as a best in slot on the 5th, no matter what the team. Hardog is on a lot of arena teams as well. Sarah is a very strong leader, and that was one of the keywords for her, leader. When not considering the leadership abilities, she's not that high. She's only a B rating then. Hardog got an amazing skill set, but his stats aren't that great again. Mordoom, again, amazing ability set, but his stats are not that great. Well, they're not bad, because otherwise he wouldn't have been a B, but you know what I mean. He's still up here, but he's not A, according to the calculations. Friesart, always been one of the best characters in the game, so that's why he's still up here, even though others have taken the top line. Dr. Frank, one of our newest characters, very good if you can get him. Nigel, she's been meta for extremely long time. She's still up here as a B rating. Kiri making her entrance while Trumgar staying. These are the best tanks, so if you would make a tank list, they would be the best as individual characters. And some of it might be due to being not that fast. They could have been A as well, but I'm not going into that, to moving them because of that. Instructor Gorham are his piggies. When they stun and daze the opponents, you've basically won no matter what. He's got good abilities, he's got good skill set. Amara, she's got the biggest AoE, one of the biggest AoE abilities in the game. She can do amazing amounts of damage. Still, I didn't expect her to end up at a B rating, but that's what she's got. Moving to the last. The careful viewer will see that one very bad character is missing. And if we start with him before going to the A rating, it's Olafur. Combining his abilities and his stats, he's not justified to be in the F rating. He falls outside the rating. I mean, look at this. A C ability, then D. Not a lot of characters have not a single ability up on B and 2 on D. And if we look at his stats, he's got horrible health, he's got mediocre damage, he's got low utility, he's got appalling speed. So Olafur really falls outside the F rank. He's so much lower than the others, according to my formula. He's outside the ranking system. That's how bad he is. If we go up to the A rating, the best characters in the game, according to this formula, all of them have at least good stats and good abilities. Some of them have amazing stats and good abilities. Some of them have amazing abilities and good stats. But no one up here has bad stats or bad skills, ability sets. Bori, Solius, Kyra, Ember, General Murdoch, Revol, Talan, Cruel, Count Delman, Renara, and Slinger. Bori might surprise some, but his stats are very good. He's got high stats and he's got a very good ability set. Solius, he used to be one of the tankiest characters in the game, and he still is. There are others that have sneaked up on him, but he's still tankier than several of the tanks. On top of that, he's got absolutely the strongest healing abilities in the game. Kyra, her skill set has so much utility. She's so fast. She does decent damage. Her stealth is amazing. Her daze is amazing. She's just good. Ember does tons of damage in every situation. Of course, strongest with pandas, but she's also the second legendary character. The third legendary character is also up here, along with Talan and Renara. So we really have legendary characters at the top, but they also have very strong skill sets, so it makes sense. And their stats are some of the best. Ranking the stats overall, General Murdoch has the best stats in the game, combined with absolutely decent abilities that ranks him up here. Revol might be a surprise to a lot of people, But again, his stats are very, very good, just as Bori, or Boreas, and his abilities are decent too. Talan is just as the other legendary characters, very strong skill set, very strong stats. Cruel is a bit mixed, and I'm surprised she's up here. Looking at her skills, she's got a very bad first ability, then a middle second ability, but her clone and her passive are some of the best abilities in the game for what she does. On top of that, she's got not amazing stats, but she's got very good stats all the way through. But it's mainly those two A's here that rescue her to make it up on the A row. If we just look at Count Delman now we're here, he's basically a lot of the same. He's got decent stats, decent or very good, actually, abilities. He can do a lot of damage. It brings us to Renara. You can argue she's a better healer than Solius now. I think her abilities, when not considering leadership on Solius, her abilities are better than Solius, but his stats are definitely better than Renara's, so it's a bit mixed. But they're both a slinger. He is the best leader in the game, but we're not counting leadership abilities. Still, he just made it. He's just on the edge of moving down to B rating, but he made it to A. And he is a good character. He's got a lot of things going on for him as well. Decent stats, good skills. Now, I said that I wasn't completely happy with everything, and therefore I have moved a few characters, as few as possible. A few more could be moved, but maybe that'll be in my next update to the tier list. So, adjustments. The first adjustment is Varan, as I said in the beginning of the video. I'm moving him 2 ranks down. Varan, in my opinion, and now we're over in the opinion area, where I'm not as comfortable as in the numbers area. But Varan is bad in nearly every scenario. He can be good on P4 of the raid, the last phase, the dragon, but he's not a key factor. He just makes the fight go faster if he's combined with the Yogi, because they get a synergy boost together. But he's not necessary. He just speeds up the process, but he's not needed. So I'm moving him down to an E rating. Shadar, because of current meta and what he can do when on a fast team, I move him up 1 rank. Mordoom, considered mandatory on nearly every team, because his skill set is that amazing. Even though his stats aren't putting him up in an A rating, I'm moving him up anyway. Revol, the only one I'm moving down. B rating is still very strong characters, and I don't think it's justified that he's an A rating with his abilities. His stats justify it, but his abilities might. They're strong. Don't get me wrong on that, but I don't think they justify for an A rating. So with these adjustments, we get to the final tier list. As you can see, Mordoom at the top, Revol 1 down, Shadar 1 down, and Voiron moved down to an E. This is my tier list, based as much as I could on numbers and facts, and as little as possible on opinions and personal preferences. But it's impossible with a tier list, so they're here. I will get complaints about this, and I will most likely update it as well, but probably not until a new character is released. Then I will review all the comments that come in and see if I want to adjust my formula or adjust my opinions, because both are possible here. You can argue, is 0.5 times the utility rank a good number? I don't know. That was my opinion. Is 2 times ability ranks the right number? Should it be 2.5 or 1.5? It can be adjusted. But for now, this is my tier list, and I think it's a pretty good one as well. So hope you can use this for something, and check out all the links in the description. Hit the like button if you want, subscribe if you want, don't if you don't want, that's up to you. But no matter what, thanks for watching and have a great day.